It is reasonable to consider it wise to be silent when you don't know what you want to say. You haven't thought it through, and your words are prone to being misconstrued. These are, after all, political circumstances, and this is a political situation, even if it shouldn't be, like it or not, for me. I just heard Pope Leo shunned as destabilizing his own legitimacy by being resistant to declaring what Israel is doing a genocide, and of course for meeting with Herzog. I sympathize. There are institutional problems with the Vatican tracing to World War II. When the Vatican was too affirmative of Nazi Germany. There was an encyclical that was written, but it wasn't harsh on anti-Semitism. There was a feeling that Catholics were hedging their bets, so to speak, when it came to Nazi Germany. There were Catholics who decidedly bore the mantle of the cross and served in Nazi German forces, as I believe Arnold Schwarzenegger has bragged his father did. If you equate what the Zion Nazis are doing with what Nazi Germany did, as I do, and see a genocide going on in Gaza, as I do, and believe it was premeditated, as I do, and believe that trickery went into what happened to provoke it, as I do, you would see the hedging of Pope Leo is exactly the same then as now. I don't, however, feel it's necessary to demand excommunication from the Pope by denouncing him. I believe that his leniency comes from a deeply held desire to believe that Israel is capable of restraint and humanity. Or possibly he owes them for favors past. I don't know the answer to that. I know that we are living through a period of great pressure from the Israeli government to stand up to them without provoking further rage. We have our desire to see survivors as I am talking. Greta is on the high seas with the flotilla that extends the grace that Pope Leo himself extends. They're not armed. They don't want to fall into a war zone. What they want is to take necessary assistance to the bereaved and the hurting. Possibly Pope Leo is playing for favor in areas of the humanity that favor the West. People on the flotilla are the West's own. There are people. But they're protesting that Gaza is part of the world too, that the people of Gaza are equally entitled to consideration under international law, that we have no right whatsoever to withhold damnation over Gaza being subject to genocide. People who follow me realize that's how I feel. But I'm also not personally at war with Israel, nor do I want to be. My brother is Jewish. I have people I care about and love deeply in Gaza. I have seen the prospect of ceasefires evaporate, of respect for the principles of freedom of expression attacked in places like Yemen, much to my disbelief. And so, what I had hoped, I think, what I truly hoped, when I started this video and admitted I didn't know what I was going to say, is that I would arrive at something, speaking publicly, where self-deception would be noted. That could help me explain to myself what I think Pope Leo is doing and what motivates him. I believe that he's motivated not from disbelieving that a genocide is taking place, but from disbelief, all the same. I find it difficult to believe that the Jews have been shown so much favor, who have been curried to and shown deference through all the years, despite their excesses, their grave bigotry, by us in America and in the West. I find it strikes me as beyond belief. If I were to believe that they were really as bad as they seem to be, it would be unbearable to me. I believe that the disbelief that Pope Leo harbors is disbelief that makes it less unbearable to behold what is happening. And that disbelief courts denial and denial of denial. What I want to see is what everyone with a humane heart wants to see. I want to see this stopped. I would like to see the flotilla deliver their wares and sail off happily with the few people they've liberated. I would like to see the poets prosper, the love to survive, the cities to be rebuilt, and the people to go home. That is what I want to see. We know what we're seeing right now instead of that. We're seeing this gargantuan megalopolitan lawn mowing machine by the Zionists. It's unbearable to those of us who believe not that might makes right, but that might can be broken when used for injustice. And I can see why such people teeter-tottering back and forth between unbearable pain and disbelief would be reeling in the face of the disbelief that Pope Leo refused to speak out. I'm sympathetic with his refusal. That is why I decided to come on to my podcast this evening. But I don't share that refusal. It's clear to me, and has been clear to me since I first heard what was happening, where this was leading, and what it means to the Israelis. I have never corroborated and will not repeat what I was reported today by a news that is undependable. But you do hear things, and you should cross-examine them. And it's possible that Pope Leo knows something I don't. He has access, and maybe in return for his restraint, they will stop short of doing any further catastrophic harm to the people of Gaza. And if so, there's reason to thank him.